Hi, everybody. It is Thursday, coming up on 4 o'clock, and we're getting closer to that first significant front, the one that comes in Friday overnight into Saturday morning, the one that I think will eventually into Saturday morning bring winter storm conditions to the Cascades, with snow levels down to 2,000 feet. That's a big deal to start to jump start our snowpack with more heavy snow amounts for the Cascades coming next week, and we'll get some pretty good valley rain from that as well. The National Weather Service talking about Cascade snow, starting with that same system. And here on their watch warning map, they have in the kind of bluish light purple tones. This is a winter weather advisory for snow. This is for tomorrow night through Saturday for snow in the Cascades. And we'll get to snow amounts in just a moment. But we now have our first advisory for that system that I've been talking about. All right, where is the system? Well, this is the water vapor imagery. Today we're cloudy. We had the steady rain this morning. We still have some light frivolous showers around out there right now. And you can see in this kind of southern flow pattern right here coming up from the southwest, we're still absolutely in this moisture plume that's feeding in. The front that comes in tomorrow night, the timing is sped up. The front now comes into Portland at 2 a.m. So after midnight, Friday night. And that front, see the little curl right here? There's the low. Again, this is the water vapor imagery. And then this would be the cold front. Now, this band of moisture right here, it's actually going to start diving to the south. So it doesn't look like it's going to mix in with our front, but our front will be a good one, and we'll get some pretty good moisture out of that. So how much moisture are we talking about? This is with that system that comes in tomorrow night through the day Saturday. All right, so this is the GFS model showing tomorrow at 5 p.m. See the green? This is not an exact kind of futurecast or radar type animation. It's actually picking up amounts of precipitation. But generally speaking, this is starting to pick up some rain potentially along the north coast as early as late afternoon or early evening tomorrow. Now, it looks like 11 o'clock in the evening maybe is when we start to get rain here into Portland. And then by 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, the front is passed. This is Saturday morning. You're looking at the rain amounts growing 73 100ths in Tillamook County, 4/10 of an inch around Portland. And I'll go ahead and play this with heavy scattered showers during the day. We get a steady rain band with some heavy rain rates tomorrow overnight, especially midnight, 1 a.m. And then by the time we get up Saturday morning, we're behind the front and it's scattered precipitation, but we're going to be unstable. And the weather modeling is picking up on scattered downpours Saturday, and absolutely some hail would be expected. It's a northwesterly flow, so that's not really conducive to lightning. So I think the instability is basically going to lead to downpours with hail. But look at the amount of rains that we get. This is through Saturday evening. It shows nearing 7/10 in Portland, 71 100ths of an inch down in Yamhill County. We've got over an inch in Tillamook County. So let's say 7/10, 3/4 to an inch along the coast, and at least a half of an inch, if not closer to 3/4 of an inch from Kelso down into Eugene, and then some measurable rainfall out through the gorge and lighter amounts out across eastern Oregon. So that's a pretty wet system. Again, this shows you total liquid precipitation. Now, this animation through Sunday noon or so shows you how much snow we're getting. Notice it picks up some snow in the upper elevations of the Coast Range. Again, the snow level is going down to 2,000 feet. Now, those highways over the Coast Range mountains, the highest passes are around 1,500 feet. So I don't think we're going to have any travel issues there, but there will be a snow cap on the upper elevations. For the Cascades, this is pretty decent snow. This shows 13 inches up around Government Camp, or at least at 5,000 feet. I believe most of these snow animations that we show you are 5,000 foot elevation. I'm not exactly positive, but I think it's higher than 4,000 feet. So where you see, if you look at the ledger though, and the upper elevations of the Cascades, this is all 12, 14, 16-inch amounts. Timberline, I think, has a chance to get 16 inches of snow. So that's a pretty hefty winter storm type situation going in the Saturday morning. And boy, do we need it. So that is, entirely good news. All right. Now I'm going to jump around a little bit, but I want to take up that theme of tracking the Arctic air mass next week. So what you're looking at here, and again, I'm mostly using the GFS modeling for a lot of this. This is a week from tomorrow. This is Friday the 12th. Look at this very cold low up in Canada. Here's a storm center down in Kansas into Missouri that would be snow. In fact, the polar jet stream, that 540, 546 height contour that I talk about, is right down in here. So this is snow down through Oklahoma, potentially snow in the Texas Panhandle. And then you've got low snow levels zipping up across Idaho and certainly out in eastern Washington as well. But if you just follow my mouse, this is all Arctic air for the most part. Now notice we're kind of on the outside looking in. The main Arctic boundary generally off to our east. I'm going to talk more about that coming up. So this is the same model. It's that air mass level that we tracked, 850 millibars or 5,000 feet. And we're going to say that this batch of air here, the purple, is the Arctic air. All right, so this is Tuesday of next week, January 9th, okay? And here's that Arctic air now coming down, the core of it into Montana, the Dakotas. Notice we're cold and we have low snow levels in the Cascades, but we're still not really into the Arctic air mass. And this is through Friday of next week. Now, this is a change. Yesterday, the modeling was showing the core of this air, Arctic air, the latter part of next week spilling into Oregon and Washington, at least the east sides of our state, and the positioning I felt would give us an east wind flow. The change today, and now keep in mind, we're a week out. This could change again. It could go back and forth. Often the modeling with these big air masses will go back and forth. The modeling is not sure where the boundaries are going to set up. But for the time being, the models that have come out today, the update for today's date, shows that this cold air core basically stays east of Oregon and Washington, certainly east of our area here on the west side of the Cascades. So this is Friday the 12th, and let's just keep playing it. This is next Sunday, the 14th. Again, it's still really just east of us, but boy, it's a cold batch of air. Now it moderates. It has stayed east and never really came in. Now we're all the way to January 20th. Is there a secondary surge? There's cool air, but it's not Arctic air all the way to January 28, 29, 30. So it looks like, let me back this up. It looks like the final threat of the true Arctic air is somewhere around Monday the 15th or maybe Tuesday, January 17th. And again, the latest models keep that basically out of our area. Now, what we're doing here is looking at the cold front that comes in this Saturday morning. This is the same weather model, GFS, and this is the surface. So if you look at my mouse, see the little contour dips right here? This is the cold front coming in, just already past our area at 4 a.m. Again, it looks like it moves into Portland about 2 a.m. Saturday a.m. And again, right here, see this dash line? Everything north of this dash line where we see up here, no dash lines. This is the cold air out of the Gulf of Alaska, dropping snow levels down to 2,000 feet. But this is the westerly flow. Here's a high flow pattern anticyclonically around the top of the high. This is a west-northwest flow coming in behind that low. And again, that's rain for us, which we always thought it would be, but snow down to 1,000 feet. Now, let me keep playing this. And we're going to play it into next Monday because it still looks like Sunday's fairly quiet. You see the cold surface high? This is this coming Sunday, the 7th of January. Here's that cold Arctic air right here, still north and east of our area. We're actually feeding off of the Pacific high. It's cold air, yes, but it's not Arctic air, and it's a northwesterly flow. So that's the precipitation will be rain for us. Now, I want to play this into Monday morning. Okay, here's Monday morning. This is a system that I'm watching. See the red contours? We talked about this yesterday. Here's the low Monday morning. And see these red contours? They kind of a ridge upward. This is a warm front. Warm fronts are notorious for drawing east winds out of the gorge. Now, we know it's Arctic air back here around this high in North Dakota and Montana. The question is, how cold is this air in eastern Oregon that the gorge would be drawing in? I think there's a real chance that this could be snow or ice in the gorge this coming Monday morning. But I don't believe it's wintry weather in the valley. I think the valley will likely hold on to rain. Now, you folks in Troutdale, East Multnomah County, you'll want to keep an eye on the forecast. Again, this is Monday morning. Now, it's a slow push of warm air. Eventually, I think south to west winds will take over, and we'll start to see the potential that morning snow and ice in the gorge, if I'm right, and we have that, will actually transition into a wet mix during the day. And again, just rain into the valley. The trailing cold front behind the warm front is right back here. And this is Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. So that front comes in. Here we are Tuesday morning. Here's the front coming in. And this is definitely a west wind that would scour out and dominate and push out any cold air in the gorge. And again, look at the packing. When these contours, the dash lines get close together, that's cold air packing. You're typically going to get some wind because you need the wind to quickly rush in that colder air. So Tuesday of next week, snow level down to 2,000 feet, at least maybe 1,500 feet. And this is another shot of heavier moisture. I think a good half of an inch of rain or more in the valley, and another 12-inch snowstorm potentially up in the Cascades with hefty snow amounts potentially below 2,000 feet. Again, this is this upcoming Tuesday, January 9th, with that front and that northwest flow. And again, the key here is this is still Arctic air. So let me get out. I'm going to get out my tool, and this might be a little clunky, but I want to draw where the Arctic front is. Okay, so look at this big storm center. It's going to be a heck of a rain, ice to snow storm brewing across up into Chicago and then snow into Iowa. This is Tuesday of next week. So the surface, the Arctic boundary is going to wrap through the Great Lakes, kind of connect here to this low in Montana, and then ride these lows up this way. So this is clearly keeping the Arctic boundary north and east of us. Again, that's a change from what we were looking at just 24 hours ago to some extent. Okay, now let me go ahead and play this into Wednesday of next week, and then I'll stop it. Here's Wednesday of next week. I'm just going to play it into the afternoon hours, okay? Here's that cold Arctic air. Again, obviously coming down. Here's the high, obviously feeding down into Montana and the Dakotas. But let me go get my drawing tool again. I hope you find this interesting. I kind of find it interesting to look at and retrace what I've been looking at as a forecaster. So this is Wednesday afternoon of next week, okay? Here's the Arctic air connecting down to this low, which is now moving down into Iowa, Arctic air down into Nebraska. That's Wyoming. I'm sorry, that's Colorado. Well, north of Colorado, pardon me. It's hard to see the U.S. map. So that's in Wyoming. And then the Arctic boundary comes really close to just kind of clipping, say, Spokane up in eastern Washington. But overall, it stays north and east of us again. Now, this low is interesting because this could pick up a northeast flow. But overall, we're feeding off of this cold air, if you follow those contours in here, that's still off of the Pacific. So the point of all of this is, and let me just play this into Friday of next week. All right, here we go. Okay, oh my goodness, look at this low. Some of this is new since the last time I've even looked at this. This is Thursday of next week, January 11th in the afternoon. See this low? So just look at my mouse. Here is the Arctic boundary, which is now dropping over Washington State. I mean, Seattle, could they have snow? Again, this has changed since this morning. Gives you an idea how these Arctic airlines, with each modeling comes out 4 times a day, depending on what you look at. And every single period, we're seeing some change. But this is a west flow into Portland and Oregon, and that's keeping us in the wet period. Now let's see what happens. Here's that Arctic, this is Friday morning. Where is this Arctic front? It's kind of now close to Portland. So if that's the case, maybe that is a bit of a mixed rain snow, but there's limited moisture Friday. That was Friday morning. See there's no green color. Now we're drying out. So could there be some flurries Thursday overnight, Friday morning? Yeah, in Portland, but I don't see that really being anything significant. And now we're dry with really cold air potentially Friday going into Saturday. So boy, there's lots to look at. Again, here's the Arctic air mass this coming Monday. There it is up in purple. We already kind of looked at this, but let's just play it. This is Gulf of Alaska. Where you see my cursor, this is Tuesday of next week. That's that front. This is Gulf of Alaska air in blue. This really outlines the air mass feeding into us from the Gulf of Alaska while the Arctic air sits out here. Okay, so we're really confident that we have no issues with Arctic air down low through Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. But now see this developing low? Again, Thursday, we'll keep an eye on maybe some snow up in Seattle. And then maybe Thursday night and a Friday morning, even with the northwesterly flow, this could be some light snow in the Portland area. And then eventually Friday into Saturday, it's hard to, you can't really tell from here, but that's a drying weather pattern. The main Arctic air core is still sitting up here, but maybe we're feeding off of it a little bit. So, that's the way these updates are going to go for the next couple of days. We're going to look at boundaries that are either staying 100, maybe 200 miles north and east of us, or boundaries that come in. But it looks like no precipitation that will be wintry in our area here in the valley through at least Wednesday. Remember, next Monday, the exception Monday, maybe some snow and ice in the gorge. Here's the Mount Hood 5-day forecast. It just shows that 10 to 16 inches of snow projected, with the snow level Saturday morning early 3,000 feet down to 2,000 feet. That's a winter storm day. Some flurries on Sunday. Snow picks up Monday, and there's snow picking up on Tuesday. Actually, on Tuesday of next week, I have not updated that yet. So this Tuesday forecast is probably going to end up showing more like 4 to 8 or 6 to 8 inches of snow. I need to update that. And then here's Portland's 7-day, which I think I do have updated. Just a shower chance tomorrow, really mainly dry during the day. The rain comes in late evening around midnight into Portland, Salem, and Vancouver Friday night. Hail showers scattered on Saturday. Sunday, mainly dry. There is a shower chance, but mainly dry. And then a steady rain Monday again in the morning. Maybe there's some ice or snow in the gorge. Tuesday, it's rain and windy with that Gulf of Alaska air coming in. Wednesday's rain showers. And then Thursday, 34 to 45, chilly morning, kind of sun breaks and not much precipitation. And then remember, it's that Thursday night, Friday that we could potentially see some action develop. So that is the update for now. Again, basically, I'm just showing you where the Arctic boundaries are setting up, because that's going to dictate our weather. For now, I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. Thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you like it, please tell some friends. My weather site's portlandweather.com, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.